So like I can start anytime now.
Just clap.
Okay. Hi there. Thank you for joining me today. This video is part of a knowledge series about disputes. So if you're watching this, I assume it's because you've seen the previous videos in the series and now you're curious about how to reduce the frequency at which you receive disputes. If you haven't seen those videos, it's totally okay to stop and go watch them right now. We have linked them in the description below. Then come back here when you're done. Okay? Okay. Now, we wish there was a magic phrase you could say to avoid disputes, but the truth is, there's none. As a business owner, you will serve a very broad variety of customers. And because it's impossible to satisfy everyone, you're bound to have some customers express dissatisfaction with the products and services you offer. For instance, let's imagine you're in the business of selling eggs and you have implemented the highest quality control measures possible. Every now and then, someone could complain about receiving rotten eggs in their order or about eggs breaking in transit during delivery. And if you manage to hack the packaging and quality control checks to avoid these two scenarios, a customer could file a dispute just because they are dissatisfied with the color or the size of the eggs they received. Don't be alarmed though, there's definitely still ways to reduce the frequency at which payments to your business are disputed. And we're going to attempt to unpack all that in this video. So grab a snack or two, I don't judge, and let's jump in. My name is David and I'm a user operations specialist here at Paystack. My job is to ensure that Paystack and Paystack merchants don't lose money to disputes.
50-50, everything okay?
Okay.
Happy?
Very happy.
No cheating?
No cheating.
There are different ways to go about avoiding disputes, and some will be more relevant to your business than others. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be highlighting 5 strategies you can incorporate into your business to ensure your dispute numbers stay at a reasonable level. The first one is implementing strong KYC requirements for your business. KYC simply means know your customer. It's the mandatory process of collecting information that is necessary to identify the customers you're doing business with. The information collected during the KYC process includes, but isn't limited to, names, email addresses, phone numbers, and so on. In some cases, businesses require customers to provide valid means of identification, like passport data pages, driver's license, or social security numbers and its equivalents. Now, there are 2 reasons why having strong KYC requirements is a great dispute prevention strategy, and I will go over them one at a time. First off, fraudsters avoid businesses with strong KYC requirements. A fraudster's greatest ally is being anonymous. They understand that if they provide a business with sufficient KYC details, they stand the risk of losing that anonymity. Let's paint a scenario. Imagine I'm a fraudster who needs to quickly move money from someone's bank account. I know 2 businesses I can make deposits to, but the difference is that merchant A requires that I provide my name, address, phone number, email address, bank account number, and passport number when I sign up. But merchant B only requires my name and phone number. In this scenario, the obvious choice for me is merchant B. Given a choice, fraudsters always follow the path of least resistance. In the event that my victim reports the fraudulent transaction to the authorities, it will be a lot harder to find me, since all the information that merchant has on me is my name and phone number. The second reason why it's important to collect enough KYC information on your customers is because when you receive disputes, you have enough information to successfully decline them. Building on our previous example, imagine a situation where merchant A and merchant B receive some fraud claims. At Paystack today, to successfully decline a fraud claim, you need to at least provide the customer's name, email address, phone number, and the details of the product or service provided. Since merchant B only collects names and phone numbers, they don't have enough information to decline a fraud claim. And it's almost certain that any disputes that are logged against them will be ruled in favor of the customer. Now that we've covered the benefits of KYC, the next strategy I'd like to highlight is implementing a rule-based fraud detection system that operates on a set of rules or a set of conditions that, when detected, signify potentially fraudulent transactions. Some of these rules include daily transaction limits, limits on the number of cards that can be used by one customer in a time period, and so on. It might seem a bit confusing, but let's simplify it with an example. Imagine I run a savings business and I intend to implement a rule-based fraud detection system. I would first need to set limits based on how much risk my business is willing to take. These thresholds can also be informed by already established fraudulent behavior. In this case, let's assume that I have identified the majority of the fraud transactions I receive come from users who make multiple consecutive top-ups within a very short period of time. I can set up a rule that enforces a minimum delay between transactions. If a user continues to exceed the thresholds, subsequent transactions can be automatically declined and the account is flagged for a manual review. That's an example of a rule-based fraud detection system. The next strategy for minimizing transaction disputes on your business is incorporating transparency and clear communication. Your selling platform should have adequate information about the product or service you are offering, as well as information about the costs that customers will pay, delivery timelines, any guarantees or warranties available, your refunds and returns policy, and so on. You should also proactively engage customers. This means communicating quickly and effectively when you run into delays or situations that will prevent you from giving them value for their payment. This will build trust between you and your customers and reduce the rate at which they log disputes against your business. Let's paint another scenario. Imagine I run a shoe store and you ordered a pair of red shoes. Your payment was successful because you used Paystack, of course, and you're happily anticipating the arrival of your shiny new red shoes. Unfortunately, I arrive at my warehouse the next day and discover I only have the shoes in green. If I send you the green shoes hoping you don't notice the color difference, there's a chance you will not only notice, but you'll also call the bank to complain about your what I ordered versus what I got situation, which would definitely result in a dispute against my business. A better way for me to approach the situation would be to first reach out to you and explain the situation and apologize for the inconvenience, and then second, offer you a similar item or issue a full refund. Not only does this eliminate the need for you to file a chargeback, it also builds trust, and trust is how you build brand loyalty. Another strategy you can employ is sticking to a DBA name that your customers will recognize. DBA simply means doing business as. Most customers initiate chargebacks when they see payments to companies that they do not recognize. And while your customer may know your product brand, they may not be aware of the company behind it. So it is up to you to ensure that charges from your business can be recognized by your customers. As an example, let's assume I run a boutique and my Paystack business name is John and Daughters Limited, because that's the name my business is registered under. But the name of my boutique is Johnny's Place. If a customer makes a payment to me today, chances are that months later, when they're reviewing their account statements, they will see a debit from John and Daughters Limited and flag it to their bank as a fraudulent payment. They might be aware of their transaction at Johnny's Place, but there's no guarantee that they will make the connection to the same entity as John and Daughters Limited. The final strategy I'd like to share with you today is to conduct regular checks on your system. Systems experience downtimes, and downtimes can lead to issues like customers not getting value for payments. We already know that not receiving value is one of the reasons why customers file chargebacks. Monitoring your systems in real time, or at least on a regular schedule, helps you catch and fix downtimes faster and limit the number of customers that are affected. It's also highly beneficial to accompany this strategy with proactive communication, because when you let your customers know you are aware of the situation and are working on resolving it, they are less likely to panic and file disputes on the affected transactions. Now that you know about the strategies you can use to keep the disputes volumes low on your business, you might be wondering which of these strategies is right for me. Ultimately, it depends on your business model. While some of the strategies like proactively engaging customers and KYC implementation can be applied to all kinds of businesses, other strategies are best suited for your specific use case. For example, if I run a small restaurant where people can order food and have it delivered to their homes, it will be highly beneficial to proactively engage my customers when there will be delays in deliveries, but it may not be as beneficial to implement a rule-based fraud detection system. We recommend that you analyze your business model to determine which options are right for you. If you're still here, you're doing great, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. Remember, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions. We also have a bunch of help center articles about disputes. We have linked them in the description box below, so feel free to check them out. Thank you and stay safe.